This morning, a new adventure awaits us on the island of Bohol. At the door of our hotel, a smiling driver from Bohol Nature Tours is waiting for us, accompanied by our two guides, Ida and May. Their warmth and energy immediately set the tone. The day will be all about nature, culture, and discovery. Bohol Nature Tours, or BNT, is an agency specialized in organizing personalized trips and private excursions across the Philippines, particularly on Bohol Island. They offer authentic, eco-friendly, and tailor-made experiences designed to let travelers discover the region like a local through a sustainable approach that respects both nature and local communities. The agency creates exclusive itineraries tailored to each traveler's preferences, ensuring stress-free journeys focused on immersive exploration of Bohol's natural and cultural treasures. Today's program is packed: the historic Baclayon Church, the Philippine Tarsier Sanctuary in Sikatuna, the Camugao Falls in Balilihan, the peaceful Loboc River, the famous man-made forest, a local lunch in Bilar, and finally, the iconic chocolate hills. We would have loved to extend the experience over 2 full days with BNT, but our departure for Siargao is already scheduled for tonight. If you have the time, we highly recommend spending at least 2 days exploring Bohol with them. It's an authentic, enriching, and unforgettable experience. We begin the day with a visit to Baclayon Church, one of the oldest religious structures in the entire archipelago. This was a stop we truly didn't want to miss, a place filled with history and deeply rooted in Philippine culture. Officially named the Parish Church of the Immaculate Conception of the Virgin Mary, it's located in the small coastal town of Baclayon, just a few kilometers from Tagbilaran. Built in 1727 on the ruins of an earlier wooden chapel, erected by the Jesuits in 1596, it's the oldest coral stone church on the island. Its architecture is typical of the Spanish colonial period: massive stone walls, a prominent bell tower, and an interior decorated with gilded altarpieces, painted ceilings, and an antique pipe organ considered one of the oldest in Asia. The church has stood through centuries, enduring storms and wars, before being heavily damaged during the 2013 earthquake. Fully restored between 2014 and 2018, it's now designated both a national cultural treasure and a national historical landmark, a true symbol of faith and resilience for the people of Bohol. Inside, the light gently filters through stained glass windows, revealing the intricate wooden carvings and the subtle traces of time etched into the coral stones. An adjacent museum displays ancient manuscripts, liturgical garments, and religious artifacts dating back several centuries. This place is more than just a monument. It's a living testimony to the history of the Philippines, where Spanish heritage, local devotion, and timeless beauty come together. We continue our journey toward the Philippine Tarsier Sanctuary, nestled between the municipalities of Corella and Sikatuna, in the heart of a dense tropical forest. This protected area, covering around 150 hectares, is entirely dedicated to the preservation of the Philippine tarsier, one of the smallest primates in the world. The sanctuary is managed by the Philippine Tarsier Foundation, a non-profit organization supported by the government. Here, there are no cages or tourist displays. Everything is designed with respect and protection in mind for these fragile creatures threatened by deforestation and poaching. The visit begins with a short educational briefing about the tarsiers' lifestyle and the ongoing conservation efforts. We then enter the forest along a shaded path, guided by a member of the foundation who ensures that visitors follow strict observation rules. This is crucial, as tarsiers are extremely sensitive to noise, light, and stress. Silence surrounds us. Our guide suddenly points to a tiny tarsier curled up on a branch between the leaves, motionless, almost invisible, with its enormous eyes wide open. Photos are allowed, but without flash, even a small burst of light or sound can distress them. This place is a true model of responsible ecotourism, where observation takes precedence over intrusion, in full respect of nature. At the exit, a small interpretation center displays informational panels, maps, and objects related to the Foundation's work. It's here, quite by chance, that we had the incredible opportunity to meet Carlito Pizaras, affectionately known as the Tarsier Man. A special, completely unexpected moment during which he kindly agreed to share a few words about his remarkable journey.
I'm Carlito Pizaras. They call me as the Tarsier Man. I'm working here with field manager.
Since the late 1990s, he has dedicated his life to protecting tarsiers and supervising the sanctuary's field operations.
When I was 12 years old, I started taking care with the tarsier, and until now.
He told us how it all began and how the foundation was born.
The tarsier is already, the genus is already named on my name. I'm Tarsius Carlito Pizaras. Yes, it's already approved in 2010 by the International Journal of Primatologists. I started all of this in the sanctuary in 1996. The tarsier is only less than 10, and now we have already 200.
His lifelong dedication and deep understanding of these primates have made him an iconic figure in wildlife conservation in the Philippines, a passionate, humble man, profoundly connected to the nature he has defended for more than 25 years. Our next stop takes us to Bilihan to discover Bohol's Camugao Falls. Often mistaken for their more famous namesake in Cebu, these waterfalls offer a completely different atmosphere, wilder, calmer, and far more authentic. After about 30 minutes of driving from Tagbilaran, a small trail winds through tropical vegetation, leading to the main waterfall. We are accompanied by a local guide, part of B&T commitment to involving local communities in their excursions. Kind and passionate, she leads us safely along the path that descends towards the waterfall. Along the way, our guide points out a large golden orb weaver spider, resting at the center of its web. A Nephila pilipes, also known as a golden silk orb weaver. Impressive in size, with its long striped legs and bright yellow markings, it's one of the largest spiders in Asia. Despite its intimidating appearance, it's completely harmless to humans. Its golden web glistens in the sunlight, a true work of natural art, designed to trap flying insects, a fascinating reminder of the richness and surprises of Bohol's tropical ecosystem. Camugao Falls cascades over several terraced levels, forming deep turquoise pools, fed by rivers and springs from the surrounding forest. The water, cool and crystal clear, invites both swimming and quiet contemplation. Here, there are no crowds or excessive facilities, only the sound of rushing water, lush greenery, and that peaceful feeling of being fully immersed in nature. A refreshing escape in the heart of the island, the perfect place to slow down, breathe, and enjoy the tranquility of the place. We head back on the road toward Loboc, one of the most peaceful villages on the island. The road winds through gentle hills before we arrive at the Loboc River resort, a charming accommodation nestled along the riverbank. We cross the property on foot to reach a small wooden dock where a private boat is waiting for us. Instead of boarding one of the large floating restaurants that cruise up and down the river, we opted for a more intimate ride, a way to truly appreciate the calm and natural beauty of this place. The Loboc River is one of Bohol's most iconic natural landmarks. Originating in the mountainous region of Carmen, it winds for over 30 kilometers before flowing into the sea. Its deep green waters, lined with coconut trees, mangroves, and traditional houses, create a soothing and almost hypnotic landscape. As we move along, the sound of the engine blends with birdsong and the soft murmur of the water. From time to time, we pass the large restaurant's boats, where visitors enjoy a Filipino buffet accompanied by live music, a festive and lively atmosphere, very different from our quiet journey.
Even you don't know the owner of the house, you are free. And yeah, you can go.
Oh,
This is
okay.
the fiesta. This is the one like Filipino.
Just say happy fiesta.
Yeah.
Then, okay, they will give you plates.
Yeah.
Even they don't know you.
Yeah.
Give you
Okay.
plates. Yeah.
Yes, really well.
There's some like disco party as well.
Okay.
And of course, karaoke.
It's
Yeah.
present.
Every house has. So before
Okay.
we're like, oh, they're saying karaoke. Of course, we also have to sing.
The smaller, more personal cruise reveals another side of the Loboc River, quieter, more contemplative, almost meditative. A suspended moment in time, where we simply let ourselves drift with the current, surrounded by nature and the gentle glow of the tropical light. On the road between Loboc and Bilar, the vegetation suddenly grows denser. In just a few moments, the light changes, the temperature drops, and we enter through natural tunnel, the man-made forest. This mahogany forest, stretching for about 2 kilometers, was entirely planted by humans in the 1950s as part of a large-scale reforestation program aimed at preventing soil erosion. This community project has since become one of Bohol's strongest ecological symbols. The tall trunks rise straight toward the sky, forming an almost perfect green canopy. The road, lined with shifting shadows, cuts through this lush corridor, where a peaceful silence reigns, disturbed only by the whisper of the wind through the leaves. We make a short stop, just long enough to enjoy the cool air and capture a few shots. A simple, unpretentious place, yet strikingly beautiful. A breath of nature before continuing our journey. In Pilar, we leave the usual tourist routes behind to share lunch with a local family deep in the heart of the Bohol countryside. We step off the main road and walk a few minutes through rice fields and tropical forest until we reach a small bamboo house surrounded by lush greenery. The air is cooler here, filled with the scent of damp leaves and the songs of birds. The welcome is simple, warm, and genuine. The table is set outdoors, under shelter made of palm leaves. Before we start eating, Aida cheerfully introduces the dishes we are about to enjoy.
He first is the tortang talong. So this is an eggplant with an egg also with some spices, tomatoes, green onions, and onions, spring onions and onion. And then first they grilled it actually, and then they fried it later on. And then this is chicken adobo. So for adobo, you can have a chicken, you can have a pork, but this one is chicken adobo. Here in Bohol, we usually add ginger in it. And this is pancit, rice noodles with some vegetables. And this is lumpia. Yeah, it's a spring roll inside. It does look like a pumpkin, but it's squash for us. So we usually dip it with vinegar.
With garlic.
And garlic, yeah. And this one is the jackfruits. So when it's not ripe, we eat the jackfruit as a vegetable. But when it's ripe like that,
The fruits.
we eat it as a fruit. Yeah, jackfruit.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all. And of course, rice.
Rice is life.
Rice is power for most of us. Yeah, so rice is life. So a meal is not a meal for Filipinos without the rice.
And later we have the dessert, the banana in the lumpia wrapper.
Yeah, okay.
Also.
We usually attack
Yeah.
the food. Yes, attack.
Let's have time.
Bon appetit. Bon appetit.
Everything has been prepared that very morning by the host family, using ingredients from their own garden and the nearby village market. And then comes a moment we'll never forget. As we turn our heads, we see the 86-year-old grandfather climbing up a coconut tree with his bare hands. He moves with astonishing agility. Moments later, we are handed coconuts freshly picked from the tree. A simple gesture, yet one that perfectly captures the spirit of Bohol. Vitality, generosity, and a deep, instinctive bond with nature. Under the coconut trees, around this improvised table, time seems to stand still. An unforgettable lunch, humble, heartfelt, and profoundly human. A moment of true connection, marked by their kindness and incredible hospitality. Before saying goodbye to this charming family, we took a few photos together so they could keep a memory of this shared moment. Their smiles said it all, genuine joy and warmth that perfectly reflect the spirit of Bohol. After this heartwarming encounter, we head toward the Chocolate Hills, where May had planned to take us to a more secluded area, far from the usual tourist spots. Unfortunately, time caught up with us, and we weren't able to make the climb. Instead, we stopped at a nearby viewpoint that offered a spectacular panorama of these iconic hills, a peaceful and poetic way to end an unforgettable day. Fortunately, just as we arrive, the rain suddenly stops, as if giving us one last moment of grace. The sky remains heavy, the clouds drifting slowly across the horizon. But the chocolate hills finally reveal themselves, bathed in soft, diffuse light. We take out the drone for a few moments to capture this legendary landscape. Hundreds of perfectly shaped hills, stretching as far as the eye can see, like a sea of rounded green domes. The interplay of mist, light, and contours creates an almost surreal atmosphere. Soon after, the rain returns, as if closing the curtain of this fleeting scene. We hit the road back to Tagbilaran, our hearts still filled with images and gratitude, before boarding the ferry to Cebu, where we will catch a flight the next day to reach Siargao. This day will remain one of the most memorable experiences of our journey through the Philippines. Bohol left a deep impression on us through the diversity of its landscapes, the kindness of its people, and the peaceful atmosphere that seems to flow through every corner of the island, between rivers, forests, and hills. In just a few hours, we crossed 4 centuries of history inside the Carlito Church, silently observed tiny creatures the world tends to forget, sailed along a singing river, walked beneath the tunnel of mahogany trees planted by humans to heal the land, and shared a meal with a family who offered us their generosity with pure sincerity. What will stay with us isn't a checklist of places, it's the image of an 83-year-old grandfather climbing a coconut tree with his bare hands, moving with effortless grace. That image sums up Bohol in a single gesture: vitality, simplicity, and a deep connection with nature. Thanks to B&T, we experience an authentic, seamless journey filled with meaningful encounters. Ida and May were wonderful guides, passionate, caring, and remarkably knowledgeable about the culture, nature, and history of their island. If you are planning to visit Bohol, we can only recommend discovering it with B&T. And if you have the time, spend at least 2 full days with them. Their rich and diverse itineraries allow you to explore the island far beyond its famous landmarks. Tomorrow, we leave Bohol for the next chapter of our trip, Siargao Island, a world of turquoise lagoons, palm-lined roads, and a unique island atmosphere. But tonight, it's still Bohol we carry with us. See you soon for new discoveries.